Only because it's you, Lasty. I'll do my best, but first I'll have to learn what one is. My resistance to woo can be melted by your charm any day, Lasty. But you have to teach me. Ash, good to see you, mate. Fiera, I didn't even fucking send you a message. Smoke check. I haven't got heaps planned yet. I've been sitting here cold and it's Davewatch and am I gonna sound stupid if I just say I'm a Gemini? So this grinder is so powerful, Fiera, I have to turn away from the microphone when I'm grinding weed. Yes, I'm gonna go see the actual cooking. Do the thing. Find out what the culture is. No mistakes. It's going to be really obvious when I learn what TAC means, but I hope you enjoy the actual cooking in theatres. What time is it for you guys now? Oh, so it's early evening. We've got a little old cinema in town here that actually runs as a small cinema still, and it's one of the... This town, if it wasn't so shitty, it'd be really cute in some ways, but it's very conservative and weird in different ways. But yeah, it's got like a full main street with a little old cinema on it and stuff, and it's just that I don't like anything and I don't enjoy things, and I'm just very miserable, so it's otherwise I'd go to the cinema one night and be like, oh, that's lovely. Instead I just walk around going, these buildings are all really nice, it's a pity there's humans in them. Yeah, it's 9:28 for me, so it's probably a little bit late for Dave. But I figured I'd do a bit of I might end up throwing on a game in a little while. I just figured since I was, there's a couple of things we can watch all of that. Scabby Cheeks. There's always trash games. I have been planning to do a little garden stream soon, just some updates, and there's not much to see right now except for potential seedlings and stuff, but I can point at the garden and go, look, I don't know what any of this shit is yet, because I threw seeds everywhere and I've got no fucking idea. I might be growing a bunch of weeds. I've got the Gold Rush yellow courgettes. There's a few of them sprouted, so hopefully they survive. They should be pretty decent. What else did I see recently? Well, there's a little bit of so I'm trying to get rocket stuff to go wild. I've managed to get I've been too successful getting the flatleaf parsley to go wild, and it's infested every single piece of dirt or sand in the entire yard, and it grows between every crack, every paver, everywhere else. It's even growing in my doormat at the moment. I just use the other side of it, and I guess stuff can grow in here. I only need half the doormat to wipe my feet. So. But yeah, I'm trying to get the rocket, a few other herby goodness and all the rest of it to also go wild in there. Where is my trash out? I'm getting distracted. We're supposed to be having a smoke show. Okay, backrooms, Phil. I've definitely seen people talk about this. I think I tried to watch the Red Letter Media video where they may have discussed it, and I just stopped paying attention when he started talking or something. But I certainly know that exists. I'm still not sure about what tack. Roblin, welcome in. Everybody's getting into it. I can do one smoke check for everybody at once. Perfect. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't holding out hope, but I was ready to be pleasantly surprised. Scary cheeks, if you'd said, how do I get to the thing? I'm very good at streaming, guys. I don't know how to do stuff. Alert boxes, edit alerts, bits, place up, sentence.
So we're just going to raise this little puppy.
It's got really pretty pictures. Go to the other thing so you can see it. What is this? What's going on here? Oh, that's just how it's got captions on it. Oh, you gotta... Oh, I didn't realise that's what I was looking at, Wembley Jet. I was looking at it just a minute ago. Because it's, you know, when the photo previews are all cropped on Discord, so I couldn't see the top or bottom of it. And I was, oh, we'll have a look at what that is in a few minutes, but it didn't occur. Okay, now I get it. What's the... Oh, fuck. What's, are they actual lights, or is it glowing? Which is the best? We haven't got a rub lump today, so we'll have a bong Hello Kitty co-host. We haven't got a rub lump yet. I've still got... Dig this. If I'll bring this in. What is that? See this, but I've still also got, which this is also really cute. I'm a bit scared at how big the actual chamber is. It's like... Let's do some adjustment. This could be on screen for... Yeah, I think I'm getting old enough, Rublin, that if I were over there with the options, I'd probably be fucking sticking to cartridges and shit these days. As much as I love Silicon, but it's like... It is just like... pulling that burning vegetable matter into your lungs and that. I've done it for fucking 30-something years now, I think. My lungs are probably twice as old as I am. This is a relatively recent album that's from Bandcamp. It's probably... Well, that's the thing, isn't it, Roblin? We all got that cosmic lottery in it, and we all fucking born half fucked as it is, so you just take it as it comes. I had a mate that was born with one lung that didn't function and one that was half functioning, and he was like, well, I guess I'm a smoker. It's like, pink, not smoker. Stop it, you make me sick. We just be clicking on things. I saw something get... wait, did I link my... Okay, I can't be laughing at people, I just linked my own stream apparently in chat. That's pretty fucking clever. I was trying to link it up, so... Oh yeah, I do, yeah. I think of the big bomb. Music for caterpillars. Caterpillars and fucking... What are these guys called again? Praying mantises. Yeah, my lead guy, at least, like, because he's a boomer, he's always like, oh no, I was looking at porn again and now an Indian man's telling me that he's locked my PC, can you come and help me? And so I do get sorted out for the extra grams. I might have to cut my hair shut. I let it get too matted. And I'm not used to having long hair. I don't like brushing. I only did it so that I could shave a skullet and be like Dave, but I never got around to it. But you know, it's like, you know when you grew toenails really like Fiera, sorry. Fiera's that got me for it before. Sometimes I get really impressed with how long I can grow my toenails. And so fucking, I give you all shit for sending dick pics to people or whatever, but fucking I was here sending toenail pictures to Fiera. I should be banned. Well, my hair grows really quick anyway, scary cheeks, so it's like within a fucking 6 months or a year it would be on my shoulders again anyway. Probably sooner, I don't pay much attention, obviously. I said nudes all the time. Do the whole album. Well, one of the other problems is it's like, could I just let the... I've been letting all the wispy beard bits grow, and like, because you know Dave's got a beard, but then he's just got like all these individual hairs coming down his belly. So it's like, but he rips the middle out and mine's thicker in the chin. I might just shave everything soon. Eyebrows. Then I'll get a cam for stretching. Yeah, it doesn't take much to some people that aren't, you know, growing their first beards and all that, like it takes a fortnight to grow a decent beard. You know, so, yeah, that's what I mean when you get, and it's like, people don't gotta be fucking, like, you know, because I can tell you now, like, a thick ass, like, because I used to put hair wraps and shit in my fucking beard and stuff, and it's like, if it's too fucking thick or bristly or coarse hairs and all the rest of it, like, all I do is end up accidentally fucking... No, I'm not going to say that, that's a joke for... This is a 18+ stream, isn't it? That's a joke for me. There's nothing wrong with having a bit of a wispy beard, is what I'm getting at. It's like, look at fucking, some Asian dudes that be like, oh, we can't really grow beards, and it's like, you reckon you've seen these old fucking Chinese dudes? Like, meanwhile, we're all fucking jealous of the different shaped follicles of fucking aging black hair and shit. It's like, it comes down to a similar thing where it's like, if you've got a body, it's gonna have a shape, you know, and like you can do certain things to adjust elements of that to better suit your comfort or your health or whatever. But if you got broad shoulders from a skeleton that's a certain size, you ain't gonna be fucking starving yourself out of broad shoulders or something. A lot of people get a little bit twisted in body positivity, where it's like they forget that you're allowed to be positive about the things that you can't change about yourself, or that, you know, you shouldn't necessarily be so, I know it's going to be different for people that have like transitioned and things like this to some extent, but the same rings true, especially when it comes to like some of the fucking bullshit that trans men face when it comes to like, you know, fucking facial hair and shit like this. And it's like some of the best beards I've seen have been on trans men, like, but that doesn't mean that having a wispier beard isn't fucking valid. It's like, if you get too paranoid about that kind of shit, you'll end up being like looking like David Norton, where it's like his face looks like a koala's vagina because he won't get rid of, like, he doesn't know how to shave and keep his beard. He's scared of looking like Amish, which is what happens to us if we shave and try to keep the beard and chops for a little while, if you hate hair around your mouth. So he ends up doing this weird thing where he just sort of trims down his weird-ass moustache, but he wants the fucking sides, the whiskers of it, to be long. And he literally just turns his little mouth into a koala's fucking vulva, sitting there like, you know, pouting at you, all fucking slutty and marsupial looking. It's a layer of his yeah, nice. But yeah, I've always been a lot softer around there anyway, and I always avoided bodybuilding type exercise because I prefer to remain. I like to be able to slip through gaps. If I need to run away from things, you know, if I can't fucking slip through a small gap. But yeah, I've also always just been relatively content to be fairly soft, you know, like. Yeah, the thing is, that's not true, Rob. What it would have cost me is having it in my head and knowing that it was in there alone, and not in everybody else's too. And now you're gonna fucking, every time you see Dave's face, or a fucking Australian-themed teddy bear plush toy, you're gonna be fucking flashing back to this moment, unable to rid yourself of the horror. I'm grinding up weed again, so it's all still and quiet at the moment. I could put like a dancing Dave different screens. If I do this, save this. What time is it for you, Skip? I can put on something more obnoxious and annoying. Go get some sleep. Oh, God damn it, I don't know what I'm supposed to be thinking. Oops. Just let me go back to the thing. Let me drop this. It's like I tried to fucking move GIF somewhere and now it's like saving it. Yes, thank you. Back. All this just so it's gonna be it's so bad. Awesome. Yeah, no, take care of Scout, you rested. I'll try to do a slightly earlier one for you sometime soon. So I keep catching you at the end of the... Sorry, that day just looks so terrible. You're gonna hear the grinder again in seconds. We've already been going for 26 minutes. We have to start streaming by half an hour. So off the channel. Alright, let's have some photos. Hello? Dave, you could just step aside from kill it.
Eat up, you need your strength. Go to school, you've got to be brave. Chase those vampires back into their caves, but stay strong. This world needs you. Beat up anyone who offends you, do it now.
You're getting onto the
Might not
end.
get another chance to, besides they deserve it almost as much as you do. So beat up. Your body into the gears of this machine that spits you out terrified of human beings, but it's only love. I think it's what you need, so throw your body into the gears of this terrifying machine.
I never used to get much effect from any form of edibles when I was younger, like
Yourself
cookies and shit.
on more than one occasion.
But now that I'm old, I feel like they're just gonna slap me every now. Everything hits different.
In your hand, but stay calm. It might help.
Turning it upside down. Come on, Brian, here. Get the
Okay, so we've got an anthem. Probably good timing. Snow check, and then when we get back, find something to do. I've got some dumb shit to watch probably somewhere. I know I do, but I'm waiting on to. I already know that one was just going to make me like a feeling angry. Oh, we have got some solutions. Oh, we get to have to switch into get connection. I think my PC might want to rest. It's the mouse pointer keeps disappearing, and it's sort of like taking a while to do some things. It's not entirely happy, I think.
Dès qu'il y a un spot à la télé qui me parle d'un canard, j'y vais.
Yeah, right.
J'y vais.
Dès qu'il y a un spot à la télé qui me parle d'un canard, j'y vais.
Think that.
J'y vais.
Je collectionne des canards. Oh. Je collectionne des canards par milliers. Je collectionne des canards. Oh. Je collectionne des canards vivants. Dès que je surfe sur le web et que j'y vais vendre un canard, j'achète.
Et si quelqu'un surenchérit, dardard, je surenchéris, chérie.
Je collectionne des canards. Oh. Je collectionne des canards par milliers. Je collectionne des canards. Oh. Je collectionne des canards vivants.
Je sais que c'est impossible,
So it's
mais
impossible.
moi j'y
Not
crois.
called all of the ducks in the world.
Je sais que c'est impossible,
Mais c'est comme ça. Je
They've got a great album called like fucking was it
tous les
10 super songs or something like that, and it's full like just happy pop songs. This is how I learned that French ducks say queen. They've also got a song called Jesting This Narcoleptic.
Je suis narcoleptique, c'est-à-dire que
I made ashes and some of this last where's Gremlins at the Gates?
vu que tu t'étends.
They're like We play metal, but we're bored, so now we're gonna play the Gremlins theme song in this style of at the gates. Shit like that. It's fun.
Je ne t'ai jamais autant aimé que depuis que tu t'es en allé. Je ne t'ai jamais autant ôté ta culotte. Maintenant que t'es morte, notre amour est éternel.
Big fucking time. It's trying to give me creme brulee, that's not what I'm asking for.
Finally, we invented this tool that makes bugs.
Alright. One more. And then, I think we'll just start at the worst place we can. was your last chance, last night, yeah. Also, refresh your drinks. Make sure you've had your mix. Stretch the mix. Oh. Last call for drinks. Yeah, it's really chips.
The power's not in your hands, it's in the money they possess to get just what they want. Make up your mind, or else they will make it up for you for sure, and they'll get just what they want. They let you in when it comes to big decisions, but first of all, they feed their fucking answers to your mind.
Satanic Surf is one of the most fucking underrated fucking legend bands. Fucking early noise fucking skate punk shit. Why isn't it recommending more Satanic Surf? One more. Only because we need to have a smoke. Now I've got an ad break finally coming, so you get more songs anyway. Awesome. Well, I've been something. I had that album when I was like 12 years old or something. I don't know if it's going to bring back memories. Uh-oh. I forgot it. Oh, holy shit. Okay, that's definitely... Oh, what?
Look, does anyone give a shit that I'm crying on stream? Seriously.
You're too
I
much.
can repress the emotion.
So guys, I'm getting
Anyone
a new bong.
care?
A nice one.
Anyone give a fuck?
And you're going to end up with the new co-host. You're too fucking kind, Rumplin. Thank you very much. Just, yeah, I know you've said that already, but, fucking... Next time, I appreciate it, but fucking get some non-perishables for some homeless people or something. I love you, mate. Thank you very much. I get a little bit overwhelmed with the support, and but I definitely will upgrade from the Gatorade model. Thank you very much. More satanic service. And more sponges.
I have my opinions and I try to do them. Call me childish if you want, but I guess the times to back the metro.
My gay orgy light is running out of fuel. I'm going to switch to a slightly less gay one. I gotta admit, it grieves me. A little positive progress report for people and some of that. Like, I've been a bit quiet about it because I try not to moan too much. I already moan too much. I've been relatively good without my gut medication for like 3 days now. It's been a little bit tough at times, but nothing like. And the idea was always hopefully to use it as a means to get my diet, my gut health, and all the rest of it together, like that I could, wean off of it. I'm still probably going to need it, but even to be able to do this is such a sign of, like being literally having that healthier fucking diet and everything and managing to yeah, fucking. Fucking. I spent. I think I told some because during a somewhat recent phase of depression, probably around the time that some of you started to know me, or just before, I literally ate 1,000 pizzas at a modest estimate in 2.5 years. Because I was sort of in a bit of a rut and not really able to manage, like the executive dysfunction shit took over, and the first thing to go off oftentimes is the diet. I'm somebody who does cook a lot and all the rest of it, and when the depression pizza hits, it's and when I say pizza, I don't mean I was making decent pizza. I mean I was in such a slump where I was buying fucking the shittest fucking cheapest supermarket margarita with nothing on it but red and yellow and fucking I'd take it home and I'd fucking put pineapple on it and I'd eat it. Like, we've come a long way, chap. I still want mac and cheese. I dig it. I get it. But when you've got to save food at times too, like, you know, where, that fucking... Also, when I didn't want, I responded with an emo to something that you said recently. I started writing a response, but I didn't want it, you know how you always try to condense things in a Discord fucking response or comment or whatever, and it's hard to fucking, but I understand that like fucking a housing opportunity fell through for you recently, and that's a disappointment and a setback, but I had to presume from the way you were phrasing it that it didn't put you in immediate danger of homelessness, but I just wanted to re-emphasise that to the best of your ability, while you're capable with what access you've got during those times, try your hardest to stay networked so that, like, because it's really hard, it's ground into us all the need for independence and all the rest of it, but sometimes it's, you know, it's for want of $10 or $20 that something can't get paid, somebody ends up fucking not eating or fucking whatever, you know, and nobody wants that to be going on without them realising it, you know. There's always somebody that, like, and even if it takes fucking 10 of us to fucking throw in $1 to scrape together so you can afford a fucking, and also it's one of those things where it's like fucking, sometimes you'll need a decent meal. It's not going to help if we all fucking scrounge together to get you another fucking box of mac and cheese. Like, sometimes we'll want to just be like, hey, can you take this and go treat yourself today, get decent. But one of the worst things too when you're sometimes facing some amount of food insecurity is that you'll be in these positions where gracious benefactors might take you out for lunch or whatever. You're not physically equipped to sit there and eat what you need in that social setting with them. You really need a few meals in a row to be able to, you know, and it's like, not in immediate homeless. You've got 3 months, hopefully. But yeah, so that's some time to get some things sorted, but you know, just make sure that you do stay in touch with people and networks and keeping people as up to date as you can, because you know, fucking it's often the simplest things that lead, because we've got this, like, you know, I will stress myself if I owe my mother $20 to the extent that it might throw my whole budgeting and anxiety out. You know, or that's a shit example, but you know what I mean. Like, you know, fucking sometimes it's like we're fucking we will talk at a later date a little bit more about the I was setting up a tab in the Discord, which would be a purpose-built small direct mutual aid device with some amount of stipulations over what people would be agreeing to by using it, sort of thing. But there's a bit more to go into for it, and I haven't gotten around to them. But yeah, we can still, because there's a tendency for some of those type of things to get overwhelmed with just the generic GoFundMe type stuff, which can still just be shared everywhere anyway. But it does a psychological thing when you see too many of them, where it means that the whole your brain starts just slipping off the posts entirely. If we've got a purpose built with certain limits at each end and all the rest of it, we should be able to manage I'll explain it another day. What's this? Oh, that's only closing sense.
Finally, we invented this tool that makes bugs go into your eyeballs and they take a shit in your brain.
What?
I made a tool that gets bugs to crawl into my eyeballs and take a shit in my brain. They go right in there.
What the fuck are you talking about?
It's a tool that I made.
To get bugs to shit in your brain?
Look, this is the future, bro. This is the future. And you are either in the train or you are in the way.
Does the tool, like, do something? Does it help in some way?
People never understand technology when it first comes out. They're always like, oh, the internet, oh, email, oh, these bugs are poisoning my kidneys and trying to get me to message minors.
Holy shit.
You don't understand technology.
The thing you're talking about sounds like it has absolutely no upside.
You're fired, by the way.
Why?
We're gonna let the bugs do your job.
Do they even know how to do that?
They know how to make this noise. They can make a noise that's like...
Okay, but what is that? Do you like that?
They can do that.
And that's good?
That's a thing they can do.
And that's good?
And the craziest part is this only costs all of it.
All of what?
Just like everything, all of it. It's a fucking steal.
Stop doing what you're doing.
The bugs need all of it to keep going.
Why are you doing this? So just trying to make money?
I've poured every dollar we have into it, and so far we're not making any of it back.
So you're not doing it to make money?
I'm doing it to lose money.
Stop doing it!
But if I don't do it, someone's going to.
What?
Someone's gonna do it, and I don't want it to not be me.
Nobody needs to do this. We don't need bugs that shit in our brains and take our jobs and ruin the world.
The bugs are my girlfriend.
That's nothing. Those words you just said, they don't mean anything.
The bugs are my girlfriend.
Stop!
We're in love.
Shut up, dude. I'm serious. Shut the fuck up.
Oh my god, my GF just launched all the nukes.
Jesus Christ!
That's so cool. I didn't even know she could do that.
Yeah. We're not listening to this now. You can look at it for the time being. What we're going to watch instead, I'm going to put the headset on so that I can... So I'm going to drink some of this delicious coconut water as well. Yeah. Headset on so that I can listen more closely and be more angry. We're not going to enjoy this. Unfortunately, we're starting the trash with a particularly rank steaming pile. 24 minutes. All I remember about I'll prepare you now, in fact. All I remember about this is that there's a point where the person speaking refers to Indigenous Australians as native fauna. Okay? So, that's where we're going today. That's why I'm already angry when you haven't even had a chance to see what I'm going to put on screen. I've only watched a couple of minutes of this, and it was enough for me.
Star in Australia had it of years ago that we're living here. Hi guys, thanks for tuning into another episode of Nuggets News. Well, I've got a wild episode for you guys.
This cunt's got fucking 163,000 subscribers. This has had 97,000 views. Sorry, I'm waiting for this stuff to happen. I'll drop link. And, yeah, the audio's up. Back to the start. Alright, actually, I'm going to have to move one of the co-hosts. All of the co-hosts. I don't know what's going on. So you can see. Guess the dancing Dave can stay. Just gonna let the poon dog out. One more smoke check before we get into this. It's gonna be shit. You know it's gonna be shit. Oh, sorry, Wembley Jet. Don't worry. When I'm angry because people are stupid.
Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Nuggets News. Well, I've got a wild episode for you guys today. Some of this stuff I've uncovered blew my mind. And we're going to be talking about how Australia has really been founded and infiltrated by these secret societies from day one, through some more ancient secrets in the history we're not told about Australia, as well as its role in the New World Order, Agenda 2030, how we seem...
Do I sound like that?
To be a testbed for passing the most draconian laws and that type of thing. So stick with it. I think you guys are going to really enjoy this one today. But this is a monument in Manly in Sydney. People reporting that there's manholes around this. It might even be a bunker underneath or whatnot. But if we zoom in on this plaque, this is fascinating, right? New World Infrastructure Commission Australis Project West initiated 1829. And if you have a look at the bottom of the plaque, just as these hills watch over this region, we shall watch over the world. Together, we will shelter this land for 2094. So make of that what you will. But as you can see here on the plaque, it's got that Freemason, all-seeing eye symbolism and all this type of stuff, which I'm going to get into, is all through Canberra. I'm going to talk about a lot about Canberra as well in this episode. So obviously the official version of Australian history is Captain Cook and the British, 1778, that type of thing. But Australia's marked on all these old maps, 1519, some people say even earlier. And there's plenty of stories and evidence that we're going to touch on today that there were people that were colonised here, the Dutch, and maybe even older than that through to the Phoenicians thousands of years ago that were living here, with Aboriginal people. And obviously that is not what we're taught at school at all. But even Australia's geography is really unique. Most people live along the coast. There's so many mysteries that we hear about. Stories and anomalies from the outback, and even hidden regions and anomalies around Kakadu that we're not allowed to access, that are just completely off limits to the public. And not only that, there's a lot of talk now about floods and cataclysms, and this sea level here is pretty low. So, was all of this connected back in the day, which is super fascinating to think about as well.
You can see it.
Move on to some of the more modern times, and Operation Matchbox, which is related to Operation Paperclip, where all these Nazi scientists were brought to Australia and infiltrated our hospitals, psych departments, politics, all this type of thing, which we just, again, this is not mainstream knowledge
yes, it is. It's in mainstream. It's in the mainstream newspaper.
Now, a lot of these experiments that were going on were, there were precursor programs even before this happened after World War II. William Mackenzie was one of the most famous, scientists in Australian history, but he was obsessed with children, disease, genetics, and not only that, the local fauna, particularly Aboriginal people and blood types and that type of thing. So this was another fascinating rabbit hole. Some of you will have been down, the rhesus factor, the blood types A, B, and O, and if the oldest continuous culture is Aboriginal people, the genetics and bloodlines and all this type of thing that the elites and scientists are just obsessed with, even to this day. This is fascinating to have a read about, which I'll get to some good articles on this topic in just a second. But when a lot of people came over here, they couldn't even believe some of the animals that are here. And Australia's got very unique animal species, right? It's almost like these marsupials are like a hybrid of a mammal and a reptile, that the mammals that can lay eggs, and this is very unique to Australia, and people just didn't even believe that these creatures are real because they look like hybrids or whatever back in the day. And not only that, we've got a lot of megafauna that doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. So again, how old is Australia? Why is it here and nowhere else? All these types of questions. So Archaics did a really interesting video on all this, and he's done plenty of videos covering Australia, and I'll link to these videos I mentioned down below. But this is a fantastic 6-part article series by the Australian Peacekeepers talking all about this MK Ultra and all these experiments that they're doing
series. It's a
in Australia. And
2-paragraph blog post from a fucking
Fiona Barnett mentioned this.
Fiona Barnett is like, she does more damage to fucking legitimate trafficking, fucking anti-trafficking efforts in the world than fucking nearly anybody else. Fucking
her testimony about Dr. Anthony Kidman, who's Nicole Kidman's father, working for the CIA, mind control research, a lot of the abuse that went on, that type of thing. And some of these quotes are just, unbelievable about what they were doing to native Aboriginal people here and that type of thing. Not only that, they were really obsessed with chemical and biological weapons. So some of you might have read about, like Lyme disease being created at Plum Island and all those experiments that were happening in the US, but this was all happening in Australia as well. And, a lot of medical research continues to happen to this day in Australia, which
I presume at some point he's going to start getting to a point. So I've not been saying much because I'm just like, he's just introducing whatever, but he's just like, bam, bam, bam. Excuse me. It's like, I'm not sure if it's just going to be this all the way through now. Like, him just going, I read this thing and,
is pretty controversial as well, which we might get to in future episode. But this 6-part series is brilliant. I'll link to it down below. They touch on the connections, Huxley and ASIO, even some of the connections to the CIA, the Dalai Lama and all this type of thing that happened in Australia. So again, we seem to be a bit of a testbed for some of this stuff. But as I mentioned in that first part, Fiona Barnett, the documentary where she talks about the abuse that she underwent at the hands of those different people, I've touched on that before. A lot of this is kind of a result of these earlier programs of these scientists and people, these crazy doctors that came in and just did these experiments that you wouldn't get away with these days. Maybe they're still happening in underground labs or whatnot, but this type of stuff was kind of starting to get a bit mainstream throughout the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s. And then it obviously got covered up, and I've touched on how this all connects to secret societies, politicians, people of influence in plenty of these videos that you guys can check out as well on the channel. One thing you might not have heard about before, though, is this connection here to foreign intelligence agencies and just how long they've kind of been running these blackmail influence rings over Australia. And look, a lot of this really came to a head when Gough Whitlam got overthrown, and he wasn't happy with the influence that the CIA and other foreign intelligence agencies were having over Australia. He wanted transparency. around Pine Gap, the military base, which we're going to get to in just a second. But around that time as well, this is kind of when the UN, these NGOs that continue to basically control the world to this day, and our politicians are kind of puppet masters for whatever these big organisations want to push through. But this is around the time of the Lima Agreement and gutting manufacturing in Australia, and we've seen how much that's been gutted, and the result of that now is really just starting to play out and hurt us. But yeah, Gough Whitlam was not happy that the CIA and these intelligence agencies were doing all this secret stuff and wouldn't share it. There was no transparency. And so again, the modern Australia and the version that we're told of history, settled by the British, right, still under the rule of the monarch and all that type of thing. But we've also obviously infiltrated by these intelligence agencies, and this is a really important base. There's been some videos and other information about how deep underground this all goes, and you think about the strategic position of Australia, this being right in the outback, and even Australia, how it kind of remains a bit of a neutral country. I want to get to all this in a second, how I think we're going to play a big role in this, heading towards this technocracy with AI, surveillance, tech, and all that type of thing being what is going to control the world. But it's also interesting that this is located not too far from Uluru, right, in the middle of the outback. And the official story around Uluru, there's a lot of questions and theories about what this even may be, this huge rock just in the middle of nowhere. That's not the only sort of mystery in Australia, though. We've got these...
Dude needs his chunkers. I'll be back in 1 second. Come on. Alright, dogs. He's got his breakfast.
Deep underground caverns, and they said they're 4 millions of years ago, but there's plenty of stories of tunnels underground all through Queensland. I think even the acknowledged underground tunnel networks in Melbourne and Victoria are some of the most extensive in the world. So how long have they been here? Was it just natural erosion over millions of years like we've been told? Pretty crazy stuff happening, and all these mysteries in the outback of Australia. And My Lunch Break is a great channel, has done a good breakdown on Pine Gap, and obviously some Tartaria Australia flavoured stuff as well, which we'll get to in just a second. But let's change gears a bit and let's get into the kind of satanic, occult, dark history of Canberra.
Finally, we're going to fucking...
666, just a coincidence, right? Now, this was obviously designed. Melbourne in Victoria used to be the capital before Canberra came over, and it was like they had a fresh start to build this building and this territory and whatever, with these different occult symbologies and astrological alignments and all this weird, wonderful stuff, designed by Marion and Walter Burley Griffin, that were both deep into the occult and theosophy, that type of thing. So if you have a look at Canberra, it's got a lot of similar alignments and structures to Washington, D.C., the Vatican, the pyramids, and all these kind of other power structures aligned here with the Old War Memorial, Mount Ainslie, and a few other things which I'll get into. So there are some good videos that are pretty hard to find these days about all this stuff. We've got the cube there, the black cube of Saturn, 666. I won't go into all these breakdowns, but I'll walk you through some of the more interesting ones now. We know that there's deep connections to Freemasonry, the occult, Kabbalah, secret societies, all this type of thing. But let's have a look at some of these bird's eye views of Canberra. So we've got the Freemason compass there. We've got the pyramid here with the all-seeing eye. We've got the X marks the spot, all this weird, wonderful stuff, because they were able to design this landscape basically from scratch and do it how they want, align it to all this weird and wonderful stuff that they believe in. So the original Commonwealth Star in Australia had a six sides on the star, which is interesting itself if you've been down that rabbit hole before. But let's have a look at these Canberra buildings, and we've got the pyramid structure there, the huge flagpole, pyramids, phalluses, these type of thing that we see again, as I mentioned before, Washington DC, the Vatican, the domes, all this type of thing, and all these kind of Kabbalah, gematria, Kabbalistic numbers and coincidences. There's Canberra there with the hexagon, the six sides that I mentioned before. Just like the Vatican here, it looks like the head of a snake with the tongue pointing to the black pyramid, and then the bigger metal pyramid above that as well. All this dark occult stuff that you don't notice unless you know this stuff and you've got the eyes to see it. We've also got some ties here to Aleister Crowley, occult magic with the upside down T, circle, all this type of thing on the head of the snake there as well. So very, very weird. Not only that,
there's two rapid fire platypus. It's like yeah, transported to 2012 indeed. I'm just gonna let the doggo out. Yeah, this this reminds me of fucking you'd go out to the letterbox and there'd be a photocopied pink or yellow paper flyer in there, and on one side it would be all this, and then on the other side it would be all about how canola oil doesn't exist, and then all interesting stuff about strawberry flavouring or something like that. It's like, we used to buy the, was it Vanguard and the other free speech magazines to get that kind of shit. But yeah, this is full 2012 YouTube. Is he live? I haven't seen. I was just. It's fairly late now, so I was presuming he would not end up live. No, Davewatch is just like tentative, like we're ready if he goes live and we could do some Devo. Everything must be a snake face. Snake nose.
The flagpole here, we've got two lots of three of these Maltese crosses, which has got ties to the Rothschilds, the Knights of Malta, the Jesuits, all this weird, wonderful stuff. So why has this kind of been incorporated into the Australia capital? You really have to ask yourself. We've also got the owl, which is on a 33-degree lean in Canberra. If you know about the owl being a symbol for that weird stuff they do at Bohemian Grove, all the elites in these meetups. So yeah, Australia's got it at all, if not more than some of these other places. Inside we've got these black and white checkerboard floors, the poles and that sort of thing. But interestingly, right in the middle again, we've got that black cube, which we're going to get to in more detail in just a second. I want to also mention here the Canberra War Memorial, which Canberra kind of looks down through at, which is the dome, again, just like the Vatican, just like Washington DC. You've got the main building and the domes and the phalluses, the uprights and that type of thing. The two towers in Freemasonry, ties to Solomon's Temple.
It's just so casually like, yeah, you've got the arches, the walkways, the dicks.
Now, this was a video that interestingly has been since removed since I went to record this. And this was an old video as well. So sometimes, as you know, if you find a real juicy nugget, you'll go back to visit that page or video and it'll be removed. So this video was all about the astrological alignments to the different stars and, tying it into Moloch and Baal and all these weird gods and pagan beliefs that these elites and secret societies seem to have. But let's talk now about the Shrine of Remembrance, because again, this was meant to be a war memorial, and it's got all this kind of Greek, Roman, Egyptian style architecture, a pyramid on top. Just doesn't really have anything to do with war or remembering the soldiers or anything. You know, weird kind of statues of gods or whatever they are. Just, it doesn't make sense. And once again, it's because it's all full of pagan occult symbolism. You know, these people are obsessed with sex magic and all these weird rituals, and as you can see here, it almost looks like 4 sperm going to the egg. We've got the checkerboard floors. This looks straight through to an interesting building, which I'll talk to in just a second. And if we go on the inside here, we can see again the light shines down onto this black cube at on the 11th of the 11th at 11 a.m. So there's your 33 for these, you know, Freemason occult secret societies. Pillars. Just very, very weird. Nothing to do with war, really, if we have a look inside.
Pillars are not weird.
Pillars and that here. And so it kind of makes you wonder, with things like Port Arthur and Australia being a test bed for the New World Order, I just want to play a little part from this clip here that I mentioned the other day about some of the stuff that we're maybe not told and these occult ties to Port Arthur, if Australia is indeed a test bed for the New World Order and this type of thing, as the video is going to freeze if it's going to let me play it here. Something that I think are really important to understand is the occult side of things, and this ties in to something that Annika said in this interview, which was our most popular episode of the year, where she spoke about how April 30 is really important in the satanic occult pagan calendar, and that's because it was the date that Anton LaVey founded the Church of Satan in 1966. And she spoke about how that week leading up to it is where they do a lot of sacrifices and that type of thing. So obviously this also has ties to Freemasonry and all these kind of occult ritual style things that you can break down, and this is how these cults and secret societies work with what was reported in local newspapers and all around Australia with the 33 Freemasonry side of it. But I want to get back to that date that Annika mentioned, because Port Arthur started on the 28th, and then the siege overnight and led into the 29th of April. So 29-4 is another 33, and then Martin Brighton was sentenced on the 22nd of the 11th, which is another 33, as well as all those headlines. So those of you that are familiar with secret societies and Freemasonry and 33 and all this type of thing, I think that's something that Paul might get into. So as I've kind of mentioned before, you know, a lot of people now have woken up to this, and you can join that Facebook group if you want more info. Watch that interview I did with Paul, or all his episodes on the WASP files. And obviously the strongest testimony, the official stories and what we're told, was survivor Wendy Skur, who knew Martin and was there on that day and saw it kind of all unfold. But if Australia is a testbed for the New World Order, and, you know, we're run by the UN, and one of the documents that got passed to Australia around that time was that they wanted to ban guns and start that crackdown, because what happens in Australia tends to follow in the other Five Eyes countries, right? The UK, Canada, and the US. So Australia was that country where they first wanted to ban guns and then begin the push to de-arm citizens for kind of everything that's happening now. And obviously more recently we've seen Bondi, and you know, they've tightened gun control. But what else have they done? Australia's now looking, as a result of it, we're looking down the barrel of the tightest free speech laws and cracking down on protests and all this other stuff that has nothing to do with what actually happened. So make of that what you will. So inside the shrine there, we've got more weird occult stuff, you know, red checkerboard on the roof, that type of thing. And as I mentioned before, the building that you look straight down to from the shrine is aligned here with William Barak, who was kind of the Aboriginal guy who was trying to stop them settle. And
he's stretching it even more than usual when he treasures some of the checkerboards that he's pointed out. It's like, because, you know, I'm familiar with you know, a good enough amount of little bullshit, because it's, you know, like I said before, once upon a time, even the more fucking out there kooky shit could be a little bit of fun and interesting when you had to seek it out and it wasn't part of the main discourse with people like with their hands and levers of power making decisions based on fucking, and it's like, and you know, like, and there is a bunch of interesting enough shit amongst all of it. It's just that it's like, we actually understand where most of it comes from now. Like, it's not just fucking, like I said, it's not just some weird guy fucking doing fucking letter bomb drops of his own self-photocopied shit or whatever. It's like, yeah, and it all got fucking partially because of the general commodification of conspiracy theory talk online, but also because it all got, when the culture war bullshit, QAnon type shit was going down, they latched onto every single woo fucking take out there, and it all got bundled into one, and that's why you see now it's like some of the little freaks used to be happy to fucking try and draw connections within the ecosystem of their little conspiracy theories or whatever. Now they have to fucking link every fucking conspiracy to every other, and they've got to get links with it, you know? And it's like, but again, there's also that financial incentive because there's an entire fucking industry built on it now with, you know, which is partially hand in hand with the same problems and the same people, but you know, even just on some of that, fucking Steve Bannon alone has some to answer for, but he's just one of fucking many, you know.
Take over this land and whatever back in the day, and then they eventually did, and this is meant to be a memorial, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that a bit of a slap in the face as they kind of overtook this area or whatever? But yeah, make of that what you will. Now, Dale, who's a fantastic researcher, did a 9-part series all about the occult shrine and breaking all this symbolism and weirdness down. But another interesting thing he mentioned in this was their obsession with Aboriginal DNA back in the day, as well as this Melbourne synchrotron for all this weird scientific research. So this is actually officially a part of CERN. So that Hadron Collider, you might have seen those weird occult ceremonies they did there at the opening of that. You've got all your 666s in here, and most people aren't even aware of this, that we have a particle accelerator in Melbourne, and it's pretty hard to find information about, but yeah, there it is. You can look at it just there. So again, what do you guys think they're doing at these facilities, and is it far more weird and wonderful than what we're actually being told? But changing gears, let's get into some of the
cute and tiny
more ancient Australian history, and if what we're being told is the official narrative. So Campbell and I did that deep dive. He's done heaps of videos about that Tartaria, Australia angle, and where some of these buildings here, again, kind of that Greek, Roman, Egyptian style looking building with columns and stuff, when it was just, you know, there wasn't any infrastructure here, dirt roads, horses and carts, and somehow there's these insane buildings with just incredible architecture absolutely everywhere, scattered across Australia. And
that's what I mean. Like, it's got to be everything
Did they
now.
actually build this?
Tartaria is some fucking mythical landmass and civilization that existed, and then there were always floods of mud or something that buried all the buildings up to the first level perfectly, and then we all built roads on the on that level. It's pretty good stuff. But yeah, this is what I mean by they tie everything into everything now, and it's like he can't just have his little fucking anti-Semitic, like, fucking the Jews built Melbourne or whatever he's going on about. It has to be like, and then this, and then the bloodlines, and then the fucking mud floods, and then the fucking people just build things. It's like Pretty sure
Were
they knew
able
what
to
they
make
were
all
up
this glass and these bricks when we didn't really have manufacturing.
Yeah,
set
they're probably
up.
photos.
I think the jury's still out on that one, but what I do think is
I
really
don't
interesting
think the
is some of
jury's
the
out.
ancient
We've still got the planning
Australian
records.
evidence. So
Australia
we've got
is
these
really
hieroglyphs
like
that you can
young,
still
but-
go and look at today. Interesting, there was some fires that went through here recently, but this is these ancient
The
Egyptian
Gosford
hieroglyphs
glyphs,
that are found
awesome.
in Gosford. We've got
Carved
this
in the
Sphinx
like
in Sydney.
what was it,
which-
late 60s or early 70s or something by some fucking hippie artist that wanted to go deface some fucking natural fucking environment.
People have got mixed opinions about, right? And even all the way through to the Gympie Pyramid and these other, I mentioned some of the landmarks that are, I've heard different stories about that are off limits to the public up in Kakadu and that type of thing. So one researcher I'll get to in just a second
Why
that did
is
a lot
Dave
of
so
work
weak?
on this was Rex Gilroy. So we've got all this obviously ancient Aboriginal artwork and what were they trying to depict and what does this all mean? Some of these saying, 50,000 years
What does
old
this
or
all
whatnot. Some of these structures that they were built, was it just water erosion? All these usual questions that you've got to decide if the mainstream narrative's right. Fossilized book at a depth of 12 meters. How old is this? Why are these things fossilized and turned to stone? Just a lot of weird and wonderful stuff in Australia, right? But as I mentioned, so Rex Gilroy was a bit of a legendary Australian explorer who went out looking for these pyramids and ancient civilization history and that type of thing. And you can still watch some of his videos on YouTube where he found evidence of ancient Phoenician cultures being here in Australia, which obviously rewrites history, and it's all pretty political today with everything going on, right? They probably don't want that to get out. But another wicked episode on all this was with Campbell and Kelly when they were on Archaics, and they did a big deep dive into all the lost history of Australia and some of this evidence as
awesome.
well. So, look, I think Australia's position itself and the way it's kind of remained neutral. China's our main trade partner, a lot of trade with Russia, and yet we've closely affiliated with the US and those military bases here, with our European settlement official history, story, background, all that type of thing. So, yeah, I think Australia is going to play a big role in whatever happens here next. And I think that Pine Gap military base, with the way the world's heading with AI, technocracy, surveillance, a lot of people are saying that this could be one of the most important military bases in the world. It's the middle of nowhere in Australia. And even some of the talk around, if there's another flood or cataclysm coming, sea levels rise, whatever, this is kind of what Australia would look like even if the sea levels did rise. And, I don't believe that, climate change and ice melting is going to wipe us all out. They've been saying that for decades, right? But if there's actually some sort of flood again, as it suggests, as a lot of the history looks like, this is what Australia's borders would look like. It doesn't really change compared to a lot of the rest of the world where most of the coastal towns would really get wiped out. So, a lot of the elites have got these bunkers being built in New Zealand, Australia. We've got that kind of neutral status, the military bases, this weird occult symbology all throughout Canberra, and some weird stuff happening in Melbourne with the underground tunnels. So, yeah, let me know.
Yeah, by mythical I meant that they've taken fucking records that they misunderstood from various different things, and then fucking they tried to claim that there was this... I don't know, is it supposed to be somewhere fucking near Russia or something that they decided, and they've just chosen this huge bit of the map and said, yeah, this is actually what that was or something. But yeah, I haven't fucking listened to any of it for a long time either, so...
What you guys think in the comments below. What else have you found or read about? What do you think about Australia, its role as a test bed in the New World Order for rolling out these draconian measures and that type of thing?
Yeah, that's...
I just think...
And you, right at the start too, McFlud, he's like, oh, what's up with Australia, man? It's like everybody seems to live around the coast and shit, and it's like, well, there's a fucking big desert in the middle. Like, there's other places where people live. Just, it makes sense to be near the fucking, water or something, I guess. Humans tend to do that. Australia would be cool if there was, like, big inland ocean and shit, though. That'd be sick as fuck. Imagine that. Then you could have, like, fucking your own mini world inside of it if you had like islands in the inland ocean. Maybe we should flood Australia. Smoke check. Dave's still not live. I'm gonna give us any. Australian silver. Because it was in the sidebar a minute ago. I've had it since I was a teenager. Eight. Smoke check. Why? Yeah, smoke check, and then wait, did he go live? I didn't see him live at all. He never even came out yet. This might not last long. It's probably going to be pretty bad.
So if extraterrestrial means more terrestrial, it means more terrestrial than humans, and in a sense, the toxoplasmosis is a suspect of being that because it can rewire your neurological pathways. But it's extraterrestrial. You know what I mean? Like we suspect microbials. A lot of that, like fungus, is suspicious because it can sit in like what's it called? Like not hibernating, but like dormant for like 500, 1,000 years. That's why there's
I'm laughing at chat.
Like, seem to pop up at like every like so often. but that we've never seen before. We don't know where they came from, but where they came, like so often, but that we've never seen before. We don't know where they came from, but before we like every, like so often, but that we've never seen before. We don't know where they came from,
What the fuck is that noise in the background? I think he's being stalked by an alien while he's making this video. Do you hear that? Now stay real quiet.
new mushrooms that seem to pop up at like every, like so often, but that we've never seen before. We don't know where they came from, but okay. I wonder if eels are a little bit extraterrestrial because their spawning point is a mystery. Nobody knows where they came from. Like even if they're swimming up the river,
is that true?
They were probably born on another continent somewhere as like a little, like an embryo stage or like.
Okay. No, I can hear there's some kind of rumbling noise, but then there was this weird squeaky. I think it was an eel floating past, yelling in his window at him. You've seen enough. You can have the title now. This video is called "They Are Here" from a channel called Run the Science. Let's see. But yeah, I'm gonna keep it paused while he's crying. I'm using this shitty. I'm using this shitty. Ew, you hear the noise? A shitty stainless steel drinking straw because I had run out of my paper ones, but I just realised what's this magic? Oh, awesome! Yeah, good work, Will. Nice. More nice that you've got fucking actual people that you trust to do that. That's fucking awesome. Wait, says Lusty. What did I miss? Who has imagination? Oh, yeah. Figure out. Who's a new pick? Oh yeah, I'm not certain, Minty Trader. I was just taking his word for it. If Ills were up to some fucking shenanigans, I wouldn't put it past Ills, Yes, thank you, Novel. Why are you crying? How do I get some stream managers? Okay, I'll come and give you some love. I'm gonna have to go give him a scratch behind the ears, and I tell him that he's handsome and all the rest of it. Ooh. I'm gonna have to get photos of the new kitchen setup. Because that's gonna be crazy. Nice. He's sleeping, but I'm gonna have to be quiet for a minute. If I talk too much, he's gonna yell at me.
Other little, small stages and shit. But extraterrestrial is like, like maybe robot grandmas, because they're not actually grandmas. And like they clone, they grow a live culture of almost like of humans, but it's a holographic robot, right? Whatever that means.
Yeah,
like
whatever. What? Buddy.
What's it called? Oh shit! I just had something. Pathology, but it wasn't that. People, I mean, it's debated that they even used to clone themselves. So, like, but that's like terrestrial, right? If we're terrestrial and we're threatened, we could just clone an exact female copy of yourself. That's parthenogenetic replication, right? Something like that seems extraterrestrial now, right? I'm not saying that this is empirical knowledge. We don't know if Amazon women existed. Maybe they just needed all those for those seals, like state seals, and the state seal of California has, and like Amazonian women, but she's actually like
at least
modernity, so she doesn't look like an Amazon. But
you want to get spooked and pop out. To be fair, that sounds like a superpower that some would pay for. Yeah, you do better than this, Wembley Jet, because at least you could stay on one of your topics for at least a few minutes before trying to fucking introduce us to the next fucking... What are you doing now, Tyler? Go out again. Poor guy, it's too wet and cold and rainy out there for him, so he's sick of being cooped up inside. I'll just leave the door up. That's crazy. You'll get photos of the kitchen when I upgrade, actually be able to cook properly. I think I owe Rublin a fucking custom-built cookbook video series at this point. We'll have to start Poonage's cooking channel. Poon can just be the mascot. I've got no idea to what this is going to seem like. But let's say this one's for Ash. This was just YouTube trying to tell me to listen to some random tape. Smoke check. Shit, my chat's scroll all the way down. Maybe not but I'm a little bit inspired. It's been a while since I've been able to do certain things. Did I link this? Not sure how long it'll last, but it will do us for the ad break and switch. I've still got to grind up more weed. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes, despite fucking with the algorithm, YouTube does sometimes know me better than I know myself, so I just have to go with it sometimes. I'm not hating this. Like, I'm actually really enjoying the mixing itself. I'm just waiting to see what it ends up being. You know, like. Yeah, it literally, oh, you can see it on screen, it literally says there fucking 1997 goth electronic cassette. It's like, not a chance this cassette would have been playing in any of our cars. The little fucking beat up Datsun 280Bs that we were fucking driving around in at the time, running them up. At least the grinder fucking suits. You gotta introduce. Pretty sure that's supposed to be last year's joke where that you jumped in on it. There's an official dad-coded fucking parental representative. I don't know any car models at all myself when we jet, except for the two that we drove around in when I was a kid. So I don't even think that it's entirely likely that the quote-unquote car model I just named doesn't actually exist, and I just made the numbers and the letters up. You gotta watch me, I can be sneaky like that sometimes. Last time. Fucking getting full sorted, Chucky. Alright. This has done its job for me. What's this thing? Is this some kind of black metal? How patient am I? precisely this much patience. Sorry, check. We were watching something, weren't we?
She was a middle-class girl. She wasn't over her head. She thought she could stand up in the deep end. He had a bulletproof smile. He had money to burn. She thought she had the moon in her pocket, but now she's dead. She's so dead, forever dead, and love me now. I've always
Thanks,
been
my lighter.
told to remember
Child protection of
this. Don't let a fool kiss you. Never marry for love. He was hard to impress. He knew everyone's secrets. He wore her on his arm just like jewelry.
Yeah, take her with the child safeties off and then go line them up in the street outside on the way to the primary school. Hopefully the kids will come past and get them and start some fires.
He's not the kind of wheel you fall asleep at. But now she's dead. Forever dead. Forever dead. And come closer, look deeper, you're falling fast, just like
If you didn't hate AI in general or for any specific reason, surely by now you hate all of the fucking thumbnail slop that's on fucking all these lazy cunts just like, yeah, crank out a fucking AI thumbnail.
business in the world where there's no problem at all. Everything that is left,
Blasty.
they will only plow under. Soon everyone you knew will be gone.
Still never caught Tom Waits live, but he's one of those ones that you really, especially these days, like I was saying it 10 years ago, like fucking, he'll drop dead any day. Fingers crossed, Ash. Or die before it gets too bad.
But now she's dead, forever dead, forever dead, love
Yeah, I went through my cheap suit stage.
I've always been told to remember this. Don't let a kiss fool you. Everything has its price. Everything has its place. What's more romantic than dying in the moonlight? Now they're watching the sea. What's lost can never be broken. Her roots were sweet, but they were so shallow. And now she's dead, forever dead, forever dead. And now she's dead.
Alright, last smoke check. And then we'll finish this video. Find somewhere to raid out to, and I'll have to do some editing today. It'll be around somewhere before too long. Come on. I have to reload. I hit reload, is it will start and then reload? That's because I've got weird ad blockers.
Come labor, get ready to dance for your bread. My son, I was once where you stand. There's a beast with insatiable hunger. Its minions need crafters and skilled working hands.
You get to go drool on yourself for a half hour until porn stream or something else starts.
And we are the great chosen crew. But I am a lowly carpenter, so what have I power to do? Oh, misery, call us to rise up at dawn, to turn way as fast as we can. We may be the mortar that cradles the brick, but I am just one grain of sand. And don't tell me of tossing the wrenches. It only brings pleasure and pain. And we are all lowly carpenters, so where we're taken is where we'll remain. And the master shall govern with unbroken backs. Look down from the top of the hills. You can cry through the night just as much as you like. There will always be towers to build. I could have been more than some stone-dragging vessel. I could be more than their wood-cutting slave. But we are all lowly carpenters, so what have we power to change? And if you can't take no more, then get out of the way, for we've got a day to get through. We wire their castles, their prisons and banks, know their mansions from cellar to roof. We've got hammers and wrenches and chisels. We could destroy any great wall we come to. But I am a lowly carpenter, so what have I power to do?
Remember, they built nothing, chat. They had no talent, no skills. They built nothing. They relied on you to build it all. And you know the secrets, you know their fortresses inside and out. You created their security systems. You built the very fucking sanctuaries they live in. And there's nowhere that they can hide. And they don't even have Cox. Wait. I think I missed something.
She was supposedly born when she was like 35 years old. What the fuck is that? Like a way to like tell you that she's a female clone of the mother through parthenogenetic replication. Suppose that's reptilian. You know, reptilians are evil and everything. So I don't know if you ever want to be interested in that. Maybe that seems ridiculous, you know. Maybe you scoff at that. I don't know.
I do scoff at that, to be honest.
But
I gotta be real with you, mate.
Like, I bet Georgia O'Keeffe wouldn't scoff at that. But she I mean, that make her seem like some kind of crazy woman was just aiming her cooter at the sun, and she was trying to take in the 7 different ethereal water frequencies to be impregnated by the photon of the sun, replicating the fucking
every fucking sentence of this is being
reconstruction of Osarian body mythos, yada yada, theosophical societies, national yada. But alien is a legalistic term, which is like H.P. Lovecraft described races coming to Antarctica and vying for dominion, leaving, you know, behind the cities of previous races when they you know, took over, and then like some of them might have like some kind of mycorrhizal,
probably didn't happen,
some kind of mycelium network, so that they can propagate all over the planet, something like that. Because they have to vie for dominion. They have a
lean mushroom
means you can free up the freaking all of the
fuck yeah in fact, let's get some
like militaristic response to try to fight off these invaders. Or that's the reason why in the imagination the alien says, "Take me to your leader," because there's this like legalese concept of like having a lien placed against you for trying to occupy it, which dominion is a way of saying a form of occupancy, right? A dominion translates to some form of occupancy, and there could be multiple forms of occupancy.
Alright, let's go to 21 minutes. We got through 5, but that's pretty good. Let's just look at the channel now and see what the deal is. Because, alright, there's a lot of them have no views whatsoever. Dave's opinion. Dave's cooking. Yeah, it's definitely one of those car guys. It'll be in the car. I don't want to watch that. It dude sucks. Oh wow, I completely forgot about this. Okay. Yeah, well, this is going to be long. I don't know what we're about to experience. I'm not fully certain. But you're very quickly going to know that whatever it is isn't going to be good. He's trolling. Fucking happy cat. Yeah. So I think this is the video that started it all for me. So and I haven't watched like a lot of these things. I watch a minute or two, and then I'm like, okay, put this aside. Did you see the title there, Ash? Yeah. So, yeah, so I guess let's hear him out. Food's not keen on the idea. He just came running in, jumped on the bed, and I guess he needs his Yeah, I don't know. That's a pretty fair statement. Ash. Like one would, yeah, one would think we don't need to put up posters, but yeah, I've left you sitting with this for far too long. Okay, so he's gonna start the video with the word "so."
So it looks like I'm actually going to have to carry my own cross in this world, like Christ commanded, which is something that I was going for anyway. But now it's like materializing, because yesterday a police officer called me. They had seen my confession video. Somebody reported me to the police that I had broken the law and done the disgusting thing that I did, which is to masturbate to underage girls being molested by some older man, their father or something. And he asked me all the questions, and I, of course, spoke the truth. I didn't make that confessional video about my sins, so I could hide it from the police when they ask.
Like, do you think we could create special head-boiling machines?
You know, it's
like voluntary.
Still kind of open if they're gonna like convict me based on my confession, and I think that is the right thing. I don't see why they shouldn't. And that's my cross. It's the cross of shame. It's why I'm unworthy of even dying like Christ.
Yeah, poor you.
I don't think it's gonna have that much of an impact on my, or rather this life that I gave to God. Because I'm already homeless. I've been homeless for 4 years. I'm pretty much unemployable. Although I do send out applications to some, you know, outsourcing work that doesn't require a degree. But I don't think my life is gonna change that much, even if I get the conviction. I don't know if they put you in jail for having masturbated to something sick like 10 years ago or something. I just thought I would, you know, share what's going on in my life here on YouTube. In this video.
I would have suggested no.
My faith in God is really all I have. This is the place I arrived in when I took what is in scripture like for truth, literally, and acted according to it. I confessed my sins. That's something we're supposed to do. And now there are consequences, and they don't even seem that unjust to me. Like Christ said, you know, if what they did to me, what are they gonna do to you? And what he means by that is, well, we are actually guilty of sin, unlike he. So, of course, we will also
This is
be held accountable for what we've done. So it's not.
It's another good reminder of why I do say, like, so often if you're out in the wild and somebody professes Christian faith to you, it is entirely fair for you to wonder what the fuck they did. Because, what are you trying to fucking pretend to have made up for in some way or whatever, you know, like, because, if they turn around and go like, oh, I was brought up this way, it's like, okay. But it's like, oh, I'm a born-again Christian because, yeah, I learnt faith in jail after I fucking... It's like, oh, great, yeah, so that Christianity sounds great. I really trust you now because you came at me telling me that... I'm actually, you know, don't give a fuck if you're pretending to be Christian. I'm kind of glad that you turned around and told me that everybody should keep an eye on you, at the very least. Hammers, etc. I know
it's not unexpected. It's still.
He doesn't. It's not just deserts. Like, he needs just deserts. Like, he needs to be, like, buried in a desert. Just deserts for this one.
Still kind of weak, though. Like, I believe that I have to die in the flesh because of that part in scripture that says that sexual immorality, especially the kind that I did, even though I didn't hurt anybody or anything like that, I did it to my own body. I have to die in this flesh. Like, my flesh literally has to die. For me to be free from that sin that I committed. Like, this flesh is the flesh that I did it with. So what? My spirit is born again. It is. I received the Holy Spirit.
Oh, yeah, no.
And my spirit is
wonderful.
saved by the grace of God. But I'm still stuck in this vessel that is corrupted. I need to be rid of it.
It's okay.
This is kind of a heavy video, I suppose. Somebody can think that.
He can see that I'm a little bit physically agitated.
For me, although there was like a moment when we were talking with the police where I felt like this tension, like a kind of pit in my stomach, having to recount the stuff. It's not a big spiritual burden for me, this one. This is just a cross that I have to carry. I don't know what's in store for me.
Yeah, I don't care too much.
I don't know how possible it's going to be for me to get like a literal job anymore. I have the cross of St. Peter. That was like difficult enough. People don't understand or care much about what it is about. The devil doesn't have a cross. Crosses get their names from people who gave their lives on them for the sake of others. This is the cross of St. Peter. It is the truth. You're deceived by the foolishness of the world if you think something different. But it's not like employers, you know, are really gonna be thinking about this stuff when they're hiring you. They're thinking about if that's gonna affect, you know, the money they make. Like, customer service probably isn't something that I could do in this world with an upside down cross on my forehead, except maybe in like a porno store or something, and I don't wanna go there.
Dude, plenty of people have fucking tattoos these days. You can, if it's the tattoo itself, you can get some shit done.
Sex offender thing. On top of it,
it's the fact that you're a fucking filthy like cunt.
Somebody who shares my faith, who gives me employment in the world. I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm not really looking for it either. That's the strange part. I'm just committed on this path that I am on, giving my life to Christ, to God, to see what He does with it.
He should finish that fucking tattoo with a jackhammer.
Everything being made visible is light is happening in my life. And now it's being written down according to the law.
Oh, sorry, no one says
That's
no
fine.
Dave so far.
It's part of my old life that I did. I don't identify with that person.
Well, that's convenient, isn't it?
I'd never do things like that anymore. The lovely things that we have through God are so much greater than the delusions of Satan.
Just Satan doing that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was all pretty good, but then I put on a fucking sex offender for some reason, and now,
We'll see how long it takes for this thing to progress.
yeah, it has been a really quite a nice stream. But
carry your own crosses.
We might need some cleanse after this one.
I'll have brothers and sisters who are doing it also in their own ways. God bless you guys.
Yeah, you can go.
Oh, by the way, I did get a new cell phone.
I don't
Thanks
care
to my
about the cell
grandmother.
phone. That was more than enough for us. He can go fucking become a boat anchor. Shitty boat anchor that doesn't work and it gets fucking slowly eaten by fish and mollusks. Eels. He should be eaten alive for part of the process by eels. Only consenting eels if they're eels that eat people. This isn't clean, this is sad. I left the door partially. He knows how to open doors mostly, but only from one side, and this door's really stiff, and he can't really do it. And, stuff. Alright. This is less sad and just should be stupid. And it can be our sort of cleanse, and then we'll find somewhere to. Apologies, it's a little bit the shorter stream, but I gotta go do
I don't
some.
know if that directly answers.
Jesus Christ, lady. I gotta do some editing and all the rest of it, so this video is called She Faced a Melted Face which went in the astral plane. Jade Shaw. Somehow this channel has 123,000 subscribers. There's gonna be some fuckery going on there. I've got a bong packed, so let's get our final smoke check that I promised 10 minutes ago. Let's get our final smoke check in, and when this is 8 minutes long, we can get through this shit easy. All we have to do is point and laugh. Nobody's going to be like justifying their sex crimes through the Lord or anything in this one, hopefully. Okay. Are they going to be trying to
What's your question?
No, yeah, no, it's all good. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. I mean, do you, when you go out of body, have you encountered beings? I mean, has anything shocked you? Or because you come across as someone, to be honest, who almost like it doesn't bother you. Like you seem like the type of person that would go out of body and some crazy shit would happen, and you're just kind of like cool with it.
Whoa.
That's how you come across. Like you're very. Maybe you don't get triggered easily. Would be the word. Has am I wrong? Have you had moments that are like, oh God, like have you had any wild moments or anything like that? Or has it been pretty oh, that's fascinating. Write it down, you learn from it, and you collect the data and you move on.
I think it's quite funny because my ex-husband used to call me the Carl Pilkington of astral projection. So in the UK, there's a comedian called Carl Pilkington, and you can show him anything that's incredible or extraordinary or phenomenal. He'll be like, "Yeah, it's all right. That it was good." So
yeah, you give me that vibe for sure.
But I think the other reason why I've come to be that way is one, I'm from Yorkshire, and it's an attribute of the Yorkshire personality in the north of England for sure. But the second thing is I've had the most horrific, terrifying, out of body and altered state experiences of anyone that I've ever met and known. So I've had them from a young age when I used to have, and I still have sleep paralysis. So I think when you've experienced what people would call hell or demons or evil spirits for a number of years, and you've worked with those entities, you tend to know that you can't be harmed. At least this is the conclusion I've come to, and if you talk to quite a few authors, they'll say the same thing. So to answer your question, I have had a lot of experience with what might be different beings, and through also psychedelics as well, and meditation and darkness retreats and breath work. But I've just had so many experiences now that I'm quite not nonchalant about it. I think they're all meaningful and have something to tell us, but a lot of stuff doesn't shock me. I think. Yeah.
Do you talk about those experiences, or do you prefer not to talk about them? I would love to talk about one of it's not that I want to talk about the scary ones, because for any reason, then the most questions I get are about fear. And I'm going to be honest with you, I definitely have that fear for sure. I struggle with that. I talk about it all the time. I don't know why. Fear? It's almost I can't even help it. Like when the vibration stage hits or something starts to happen, my body just starts reacting.
The vibration
stage. Fast. I can't even help it. And so I would be curious you said you had one of the gnarliest experiences. What happened? Maybe we'll just go into it if you're okay with it, if you're able to talk about it.
I mean, there's, hundreds of sleep paralysis experiences.
But like the demon sitting on your chest kind of thing? Like the...
Yeah, I've been... Okay, so I'm just going to bullet point with no context, different things. So I've had demons grab me from behind and strangle me in the throat. I've seen witches with their faces being torn off in front of me. I've had what looked like burn victims walking up to me and grabbing at me. I've had demons put their hands in my mouth. This is some of the slightly more tamer stuff. And I think this is how I've...
What's happening, guys? If you've gotten anything out of this clip or my channel in general, please consider leaving me a like, a comment, maybe even subscribing. It helps more than you know. It gets me one step closer to doing this full time. The full episode for this clip is linked down below. Let's get back to it.
Come up with lots of techniques as well to explore what these could be, why they might be happening. And now it's just I'm incredibly calm. It's really
unfortunately Wembley Jet.
You can make them,
I think that she might be making it up.
I have a technique to make them dissolve. You can
otherwise by now there'd be a service where you could no doubt
place that you'd like to
call a
travel
number
to.
and have a demon at your house within 10 minutes.
I changed the technique from the mindfulness teacher
if there were fucking
to use that
supernatural shit, we would have commodified that shit by now.
Some of these have been what I would consider shadow aspects from my own unconscious mind, which is, if you know about the shadow, is a term coined by Carl Jung, which is anything we've suppressed, denied, or disowned about ourselves due to various childhood usually things. And we can have shadow experiences in the OBE. And so from a psychology point of view, you can do healing work by healing your own shadow in the OBE. But even if you believe all of these things to be separate from yourself, in, for example, the shamanic or spiritualist tradition, often they will believe, well, you're...
These motherfuckers, they come across any concept, like, a dude could have sat there, like, You know, they were fucking. They had arsenic in their fucking wallpaper, and these motherfuckers are sitting there like having some opium to fix their fucking colds or whatever, and then they like write down some bullshit. These motherfuckers come across it all, and they go, "Oh wow, this is definitely a thing that has been established. That it's just like a fact, like." And it's like, it's the stupidest shit. Like, they just say words that they have emotional attachments to. Like, exactly one moment. Yeah, it isn't fair when we jet.
Frequency attracting these entities, and that's why you're entering realities, because there's something within you that is attracting them. So even if you believe in the dualistic way of interpreting, it's still beneficial to then okay, well, why am I resonating on this frequency and entering into this reality with this said demon or entity, and then being curious rather than fearful to...
Have you ever stopped to consider that maybe you're not?
Explore what that could be and where it could come from. Effectively, yeah, because I don't agree with the hierarchical. Oh, you know, there's a hierarchical level of lower planes and then middle planes and then higher planes. I think I often say I teach my students to take the valley view, which is seeing out of body experiences rather than a top down way to get to the better, more heavenly experiences. But actually, imagine you're going through a valley and you're a stream of consciousness, and that river of consciousness might go into the forest and see unusual animals. It might come up to the top of a hill and you might see the clouds and beautiful birds, and then it might go down into the valley again. So it passes through all these landscapes, but one thing is for sure, and that it's moving forward in an evolutionary manner. We just need to allow ourselves to enter the forests and the hills and the streams and encounter the animals on the way, effectively.
Effectively, yeah, yes.
I kind of went off on a tangent there.
Yeah, no shit.
No, it's okay. I get it.
Now all you can think about is fucking
I guess
demons.
you again.
See,
it's
I
like
told you this would be
you
a cleanse.
process things. It seems like very. All right. Well, how can this help me? I wonder. Are you that way in the moment?
Very
like if a witch is coming with its face melted off, are you pretty
Yeah.
casual about it? You're like, all right, we're gonna do a technique here. This girl's coming at me, or is this more after the fact? You're like, okay, that was intense. I gotta like,
whoa,
I gotta relax here.
Oh
or
my
in the
god!
moment.
In the beginning, when I was a child, absolutely petrified. Like, oh my god, what the hell is happening? Get
Yeah, it's
away!
so scary. Yeah.
So scary. I was full fight and flight, nervous system spiked, snapping back to my body. But you have to have so many of those happen before you habitually build that response in your nervous system to be in the moment. And stay with it. So it's only through lots of experiences effectively. And still now, if something I feel like, oh my God, this is terrifying, it sometimes will snap me back. But also it's, you know, sometimes you just have a fun chat with them and it's great. I've had several of them run away from me and I don't know what that means.
Hilarious. The burning witch is running away from you. Oh shit, it's Jane. I'm out.
She probably just doesn't want to be bored to death by my monotonous talking voice of various facts and information about OBEs. She's like, oh no, Jay's going to tear my ear off with astral projection. I'm not up for this.
That's hilarious.
It's fascinating. Alright. I'll catch you again soon, guys. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for all the support. We should be back tomorrow. But yeah, I've got to go do some editing for now and a few other things. But I'll catch you around the places. Sure. Be well and take care of yourselves and demand better from the universe around you.